Welcome back. You all had tons of questions from my first video that I had done on keeping score and handicap. So what I'm going to do is I'm in the comments right now going to answer a bunch of your questions, which are very, very good questions, and it makes me feel like I didn't do a good job answering them in the video. So here we are. This is part 2 of that video. If you have not watched that video, at the end of this one, go ahead and watch that, and the link will be below in the description. It's my second most watched video, so obviously it's really important for all of you beginner golfers out there to understand what does handicap mean. And then the second thing is scorecards. So right here, I am in Wales in the UK, and if you remember, they have their scorecards which go up and down, as in vertical. The North American scorecards go horizontal, and I believe Australia as well, someone had told me, goes vertical. There's no difference. It still has 18 holes. It still has the different colored tee boxes. It still has your handicap system, and it still has what the, I would say, the hardest holes. It indicates that in the scorecard. So today I'm at Vale Resort. It is where the Welsh national rugby team and their football/soccer team, they practice just right over there. And behind me is their both their championship golf courses. So this one is Wales National Course, and then the second one is the Lake Course. So I will talk about from the scorecard right over here, the national course. So let's first start. I have my laptop, I have your questions in front of me, and let's just start off by your questions, and then we'll get scorecard involved. So the first one is, what does GHIN mean? And it essentially is your Golf Handicap and Information Network. That's what it officially means. It is provided by your governing body. So if you're in the US, USGA, Golf Canada. If you're in Canada, depending on where you are in the world, it's your governing body. It's their handicap system that they provide for you, the golfer, on where to keep track of your progress over time. All of that main information is in video 1 on how do you keep a handicap. All right, so it's a widely used system, and it just updates your handicap. So that is what that means. That is the first question. We've knocked it out of the park. Another great easy one is recommendations for apps for tracking your score. A very simple, very, very simple app that I use because I'm in Canada and I'm part of Golf Canada and British Columbia Golf. I use the Golf Canada app. It tracks my score. I put my handicap in there, and it gives me my official handicap. It's super simple, and their GPS system on that is incredible. It's free. So download that, and then I would also become a Golf Canada or your provincial body member. And what that provides is your official handicap, and it also covers insurance for your golf clubs. Somebody steals them if they're in the back of your trunk or whatever that is covered. And they have other tons of amazing benefits. I'll put the link below in the description if you're Canadian. If you're American, I would use the USGA app and track all my score and my handicap on there. If you're around the world, I would find your governing body and I would put that through their app. I guarantee you they have one. If they don't, tell me in the comments and I'll find it for you. And we'll reach out to them to make sure they have one. All right, so that would be the easiest, most simple answer, is to track your score there. And a few other apps that you can do is Golf Shot, Hole 19, and the GHIN. Links, description below. All of those will be super easy. Let's get to the next question. Okay, handling maximum strokes and scorecard entries. I got this quite a bit. So the question is, if I've reached the maximum strokes allowed for a hole, what should I enter on my scorecard? So video 1 told you 54 was your maximum handicap for beginner golfers, never played, never had a handicap, 54. And the example over here, quite a bit and quite a few questions, is my example I gave you in that video was if it was a par 4 and you maxed out, which would be a 9, but you didn't finish the hole. So let's say you're still on the fairway, or you have 2 or 3 putts still to go, or whatever it is, you did not finish the hole. What would you write on the scorecard? You would still write a 9. So you would always write the max handicap, even if you did not finish the hole. Now, once I write the 9, great, I'm gonna pick up my ball because I've gotten a 9. I don't need to putt it and finish it the rest in, and then I would go to the next hole with my foursome or whoever I'm playing with. Let's say I got another 9. I'm new, I'm learning, completely normal, do not get discouraged. Great. What I would then start doing is being a really great partner or person to play with. And you're thinking like, how do I do that if I keep shooting 9 and I'm new and I'm probably frustrated, and you're embarrassed, and you probably think that the person you're playing with is annoyed. They're not annoyed, because you know the number 1 rule in golf is pace of play. If you haven't watched that video, it must be your number 1 video you need to watch. Description, I will have it, but end of this video you can also click on it. So number 1 rule in golf, pace of play. So how can I be a great companion to play with, a great partner, a great, just if your client's taking you out, how do I be a good person to play with? I make sure I do little things. For example, the other person is on the green, I've picked up my ball's in my pocket, I'm walking, I'm not wasting time, I'm keeping up with them wherever they are. And for example, they're on the green, and I will ask them, hey, you're putting, would you like me to attend the flag? So do you want the flag in or do you want the flag out? Very simple question. You're putting, flag in, flag out. They'll say, I like the flag out. You just pick the flag out and you get out of their way so you're not in the middle of their stroke, and you just hold the flag. Make sure you hold the flag so it doesn't flap and make loud noises. You're holding onto the flag. They putt. Once they putt, they pick their ball out of the cup. You take the flag, you put it in, and you're moving on to the next hole. You're keeping up with them, and you're being a great, you have great etiquette. Golf loves etiquette. So I would do little things like that. You know, if they have a divot, I would fill their divot up for them. I would be out of the way. I would hold nice conversation. I would stand still and be quiet when they're swinging. I would just be on top of little things to make sure the flow and the pace of play is going fast, and holding on to the flag and being an assistant is like really key and core. All right, another question. Someone wrote Albatross -3 question mark. That is correct. An Albatross is a -3. What does that mean? You're in a par 5, you get the ball in 2 shots. Guess what? You've got an Albatross, because that is 3 strokes that you did not need to finish to make it a 5, which was the par. Another way of saying that is par is getting 5 out of 5. A birdie is getting 4 out of 5 on that hole. And then once you get after a birdie, which is -1, you get an eagle, which is -2, so that would be 3 out of 5 on that hole. And then Albatross would be 2 out of 5, which is getting 3 strokes below what the par is. Okay, what is the men's and women's handicap score per hole listed under the par number on the scorecard? So for example, I'm going to show you the scorecard. Can you see this scorecard? So what they're asking is these numbers over here in red, okay? So in this specific scorecard, the red is the women's tees, and it says that par is 75. We also have blue, white, and yellow, different tee boxes. These are the forward tees actually. And then we have further along. And then this is the par, and it says it's 73. Okay, so this is what this person is asking. And so what this means is this tells you the hardest holes. So in this specific golf course, hole number 2 for men, for the forward tees and the back tees, hole number 2, see the one there? That's the hardest hole. Let's see the second hardest hole. So it's hole 13. Okay, let's see the third hardest hole, 3. Okay, this is a perfect example. Do you see how the third hardest hole for the forward tees is hole 4? But that's the 5th hardest hole for the men. And so the third hardest hole for the, sorry, not the men, but the back tees is hole number 1. So they are different. So the holes the hardest holes are different for forward tees and for tees in the back, and you're probably asking like why. You're going to the same flag. But what happens is if you're quite far from the hole, for example, let's take hole number 1. If you're playing from the tees all the way in the back, it is 485 yards, par 4, that you need to hit to get over there. For the forward tees, it's 404 yards. So that's about 80 yards different, a full club length different. For some of you, 80 yards is a pitching wedge or a 9-iron if you're new to golf, or a 7-iron. So that is why they have different for the people in the back and the people in the front, different holes. So that is what it's asking. Net double bogey. It's been asked, is net double bogey a rule or just common golf etiquette at public courses? So a bogey is 1 over par. So if it's a par 5, that means a 6. A double bogey, which would be a 7. So they're saying, is a net double bogey a rule? Or it is a rule, net double bogey. And the reason for that is because when you're keeping score, you want to make sure that if you've had a really horrible hole, you want to still make sure that your handicap reflects that and it doesn't completely crush you if you had like a 9 on a par 4 on one of the holes, but the rest of your round you did really well with either pars and bogeys, then it is a rule, so stick with that. Okay, we have been asked from the previous video, in your example about Oprah hitting a max strokes and moving to the next hole, would her score just be 9 or would it be 0 because she didn't get it in the hole, as in she didn't finish that hole? So I previously answered that. So whatever you get on that hole, you need to write it, even if the ball ends up going in the physical hole or not. Whatever your max is, you need to put that on the scorecard because that is how you track your handicap. A 0 does not help you track what your handicap is. It doesn't help you tell you if you're getting better at the game. So write the max. We're gonna get a little more detailed because the second time this question's been asked. It says, did you explain the use of handicap index versus stroke index on the scorecard and what these numbers mean and how you can adjust your score based on your own handicap? So complicated for someone that's new. Let's use a few examples. So it says that your handicap is measured by your potential ability to be a golfer. The stroke index shows the relative difficulty of each hole on the course, which we already spoke about, with the hardest hole as marked as number 1 and the easiest as 18. Now, how does somebody actually keep track and what does that actually mean? Let's dive a little deeper. So over here, I'm going to give you an example that I wrote earlier to myself. And we're going to say you are not brand new to the game, but your handicap is 18. What does that mean? 18 means you are a bogey golfer. So on each hole, approximately you score 1 over whatever the par is. Very normal. People are usually bogey golfers. That's great. So your handicap is 18. Okay, so we are now on hole number 1. I'm playing from the forward tees. Okay, 404, forward tees, it tells me it's a par 4, and the stroke index is a 5. The stroke index is a 5. That means it's the 5th hardest hole on the golf course. So if I get a 5, which is my handicap index, if I write a 5 over here, well, I get 1 stroke on each hole because I'm a handicap 18. So technically, I would be getting a 4. So my gross score is a 5. My handicap score would be a 1 because I'm an 18. So my net score is 5 minus 1, which is 4. So I technically got a par for my net score. Let's use this for another example. Let me tell you that my handicap is 20, for example. Okay, what does that mean? So now there's 18 holes. On each hole, I get 1 bogey. I guess I get 1 extra stroke. And on the first 2 holes, where it gives me a 1 and a 2, I get 2. I get a double. I'm allowed a double bogey to make it a par. Okay, the 2 holes that I would circle that I get that on is C, hole number 1. I would circle, and hole number 2. Okay, and my handicap is 20. My handicap is 20. So let's make this very simple for you. On every single hole, I can shoot 1 over whatever it guides me. Okay, so 5, I can make a 6, I can make a 4, I can make a 6. Stunning. 4 holds number 2, and hole number 13, I'm allowed to get a double bogey. I'm allowed to get 2 more. So on hole number 2, I'm allowed to get a 7 and still consider it to be a par. And on hole number 13, I'm allowed to get a 6 and still consider it to be a par. So what does that mean? Okay, on this hole, let's say for example, my gross score is 7, right? Gross score is 7. And the handicap I'm allowed is 2. Let's see, how do I write a 2 upside down like this? So my net score is 5. Okay, if I didn't do a good job and I got a 9, I'm still allowed 2 strokes on this hole. 9 minus 2 is 7, so I would have shot a 7 on this hole for my net score. I hope that makes sense. Let's go down here really quick. So this is another hole that I get to have 2 extra strokes on. So if I shot a 9 on this hole, minus 2 because I get 2 extra strokes, and then equals 9 minus 2 equals 7. So I technically on the par 4 shot a 7, which is a triple bogey, okay, which is 3 over par. Let's end with a really fun question, which I'm sure all of you are going to work towards. Let's do it. The question is, what does break 90 mean? And what does break 80 mean? Scoring below 90 strokes in a round of golf is breaking 90. Scoring below 90. So 89 to 81 is all considered breaking 90. Breaking 80 would be 79 to 71. So when you become a very, very good golfer, if you ever hear somebody saying, oh my gosh, I broke 80 for the first time ever, that's an amateur golfer's dream, is to break 80. When you're brand new to golf, you probably will want to, your whole sole goal in life will be to break 90. And that means that you would want to get into the 80 to the 89. Remember, par usually is 72. On these courses, it's 73 and 75. So, it's going to be different, but mostly in North America, it's 72. So when you're breaking 80, you're in single digit handicap world and you are loving life. So remember, 72 plus 18 makes it 90. So that's bogey golf. So when you break 90, you need to get on a few holes, you need to get either under par, or just par. You need to par them or get under par to help yourself break 90. I really hope this video helped you. Again, any questions, hit me up in the comments below. If you haven't watched the first video on the handicap and scoring system, make sure right over here you click and you go and watch that video, or in the description below. And if this information really helped you and you would like more tips like this and you're really into golf and you just want to take your golf to the next level, you want to learn how to break 90, you need to join my Fundamentals Golf program. It will set you up for success. I have Brienne, who is a member of the program, who had never touched a golf club in her life, and she's now playing golf 2 and 3 times a week, taking clients out to play because the program helped her, give her the confidence and gave her the belonging to come to a golf course and know exactly what she was doing. So make sure you go to CoachDiane.com for all the information. If you want me to send it to you directly, in the comments, write the fundamentals and I will send you the link for you to join with all the information. Thank you so much for your support and for watching. If you have not subscribed to my videos, please make sure you click subscribe, as it truly helps me make more videos like this and be in beautiful places like Vale Resort here in Cardiff, Wales. Thank you so much for having me and hosting me here, and I look forward to coming back next year.